I don't fucking, there's nothing interesting to talk about when you're setting screen regions up. He's done it! Alright, fucking Minecraft. I think the last thing I did when I played Minecraft was, well, for one, do a lot of inside baseball talk about, like, the, no, not multiplayer. Wait, World 2. This is the one I did for the TikTok, right? Yeah, okay. Ignore World 2. God, I put way too much effort into that joke. Even though it wasn't that good of a joke. I'll be honest, I'll admit it. Alright, here we go. Alpha Minecraft. Is it just me or do the sound effects sound very loud? Let's go 50%. And probably turn off music, because, like, never plays anyways. Alright, fuck, dude. So I guess let's start, because, like, this is why I wanted to do Minecraft, primarily. Is because I thought this would be a good example or excuse to go through my way too long list of things that I planned on talking about on stream but never got around to it. Like, fucking look, I still got Final Fantasy VI, a game that I haven't played since the last time I said I hadn't played it. That is some extreme hopium that I will ever get back to finishing Final Fantasy VI. I probably will, don't get me wrong. Let me work out a project that I can do. I think I'm gonna make a path to spawn. I think that's what I want to start out with. So first I have to find where spawn is. Because it is, oh sorry, I was using the water ladder incorrectly, my bad. First I need to figure out where spawn is. God damn, dude. The lack of like inventory hotkeys is the hardest thing to get used to when coming back to this. It's so rough having to like manually right click for every single plank. Oh, there's no shift clicking for crafting too. It's miserable. Alright, so let me put my inventory in here. Not that there's just no shift clicking in general. God. And people act like Notch was the most important part of Minecraft. Incredible. Alright. Yeah, I thought I had more of an inventory to deposit, but I guess not. Oh yeah, it also rebinds your inventory button to I every single time. That's fun. Alright, let's figure out where spawn is, and then I'll fucking look through my shitty list of things to talk about while I make a gross, grimy alpha Minecraft path back to spawn. I know it's somewhere around here, so I'm just gonna, like, drown myself. Well, I guess I need some way of indicating where it is, right? That looks gross, though. I'm a little freak when it comes to terraforming. I mean, look, like, vanilla Minecraft terrain, especially in alpha, looks really bad. But, I try and terraform things to look a little bit nicer when I can. Alright, pig. Since I don't expect you to be too large of a threat, I'll just sit here for a little bit and find out where spawn is from here. Please, don't disturb me. Alright. So, Final Fantasy VI. I can cross that off the list. I have nothing to say about Final Fantasy VI other than I still haven't played it since last time. I've got YouTube dislikes here as something to talk about. As if that's like the hottest heading news that's come to the internet is YouTube dislikes being gone. Like, I don't know. I guess okay. So spawn is, well, let's mark it first. I'll use like a single dirt block. I have like a little bit that could be said about the dislike bar being gone, but nothing that hasn't already been said. Let me kill myself again, because I want to make sure that I marked that somewhat accurately. I did, you know, I guess the only thing I can say is that, like, me personally, my personal take on it is that obviously, you know, yeah, I got the Chrome extension to return the dislike bar. Like, I don't know. I think the thing that bugs me most about the YouTube dislike bar, like, everybody knows it was to make corporate companies feel better about their blatant advertisement, right? Like, that's no mystery. Everyone understands what the actual goal of removing the dislike bar is. But I think the thing that irks me the most is just how transparent it is, but how, like, much YouTube refused to admit why they were doing it the way they were doing it. Like, if they actually cared about creators and, like, the mental health of creators on their platform, then they would have removed dislikes entirely. Dislikes would be gone. But dislikes are still there, and on the creator page, anybody who makes a YouTube video... Nice. Alright, got it pretty spot on. Anybody who makes a YouTube video can still see their own dislikes on their own videos. Just because it's hidden to the public doesn't mean it's hidden to the creator. Like, their whole goal of making a happier, nicer community for everybody is... I don't know. It was so obvious and gross to me. But I guess that's all I really have to say. I mean, I might have talked about it more if it was actually relevant, but... I mean, clearly we're past relevancy here, right? Right, so that's where I died. Jesus Christ, dude. The render distance on items is non-existent. Thankfully, I haven't died too often in this playthrough, because I probably would not be able to find it if I just died out in the open somewhere. Alright, so house is, like, straightforward from here. Let's cut a path. I want to try and cut it through the trees and stay off the beach as much as possible. For all of your thrilling Minecraft dialogue, Minecraft-related banter. Plans as to me building a vanilla path in alpha Minecraft. Right, there it is, there it is. Let's try and cut to here? Like, avoiding this hill? I don't know, I kind of have to go over the hill at some point. I'll terraform it to make it look nice. The lack of sprint button is the worst part. And not just the lack of sprint button, but the fact that this is the base movement speed. Like, am I crazy, or does the base movement speed for this game feel slower in alpha? I swear that's not right. Something's wrong there. Also, did it change my... Oh, is there just no... There's just no field of view option in this version. I swear. I thought that that everything had a... Well, I can go 3D mode for those interested in having a headache. I thought that that they always had the... Oh my god, it just completely renders the game unusable, huh? I thought they always had field of view options. I'm stupid. It's one of the many facts I've come to learn over the years. Alright, let's deposit this and get materials. I don't know, what pathing materials can I even use other than cobblestone? I could use gravel? That's like the ugliest thing imaginable, though. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna do cobblestone. That's like the most vanilla thing I can think of, so let's get an inventory filled with as much cobblestone as I can muster. You know, let's do this the smart way. Work smarter, not harder. Things that I've always thought to hold myself accountable to, but never actually do. Alright, so that's good. Let's work with this, and this will probably be enough to make like a simple little path, but I also need to make like a shit ton of tools for this. So let's what the fuck did I just do? Am I dumb? Am I stupid? What the fuck did I think I did with those logs? Who knows? Nobody but me knows, and honestly I can't answer it, so leave that up to God's hands. May he wish me a beneficial journey in this path building today. Alright, let's, God. Crafting is so cumbersome without shift clicking. I mean, I don't know. Crafting is about this bad with, certain vanilla items as well. Am I... Oh, I guess I used... Did I... I did not use all the sticks. Where did those go? Alright, I guess those are lost to time. Did I use all the sticks? Maybe I did. Maybe I'm crazy. There's a lot of things I'm learning about myself recently. Alright, what else do I have to fucking talk about? This is gonna be like the most fucking deadpan, least interesting format of banter dialogue you'll ever get from me. Like, I don't even remember this topic enough to talk about it. I watched Dax Flame's movie. I mean, I don't know, I could probably go off on Dax Flame a little bit, not in like a negative way. There aren't beds in this version. I thought about it, and then I saw the evidence. I forgot I did that. All right, let's make it so this doesn't despawn. There you go. Okay, there wasn't actually that much stone there. Item stacks look so much like bulkier than than they used to. Like, that looks like a lot more items. I don't know. I guess it looks like 2 stacks. I'm insane. I'm crazy. I just have to sit here and wait until it's daytime. That's the miracle of alpha playthroughs, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. Dax Flame's movie. It, well, I don't know. I guess, let's start by saying, whenever I talk about Dax, I talk about it because I think he's, like, an extremely interesting guy. And I've been watching his content for a while at this point, that, even modern day Dax still very much has, like, an air of mystery as to, like, what actually goes on behind the scenes. And I think that, I don't know, I think especially with, like, the more level of honesty, like the increased honesty and transparency he has, I think it is more apparent that he probably is just somewhere on the autism spectrum. Which obviously, I probably am too, so who could have anything against that? But, I guess with that in mind, I want it to be clear that, I don't know, I guess it's kind of hard not to, right? And everybody does it, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use that as a defense, but, like, I do find it kind of weird that this is just, like, a real, genuine guy, but everybody kind of treats him as if he's hiding something, and as if he's got, like, some ulterior motive or, like, some plan behind what he's doing. Like he's like a character, even though he's just like a regular guy, right? So I don't want it to come across as like, I don't know, fucking ableist or just mean or mean-spirited in any way, because that's not where I come from it from. I come from it from, like, him making genuinely unique and interesting content that I don't think anybody else can make in the way that he makes it. So, I mean, that alone is, like, and the fact that he has garnered and kept, like, a decent community, even through, like, years of hiatus, right? I love what he does, and I watch almost everything he makes. But, I don't know, there is something to be talked of, like the video that stands out. So for one, I'll say that the movie is really weird, and I think that that's the thing that stands out to be most about, like, newer Dax Flame stuff, is that, like, his older stuff, when he was just a kid, it's like, I don't know, sure, there was a level of, like, is it real or not, because, like, he certainly did exaggerate, and he agrees that he exaggerated, he admitted it, but, like, when he was telling stories about, like, pushing his fucking grandma in the pool, like, that's, well, I mean, sure, you could fucking make the most fucking internet-pilled comic of, like, he could have killed his grandma by doing that, but, like, let's hope that Dax has a better understanding of his own grandma's health than some fucking keyboard warrior, right? It's mostly harmless stuff, right? Like, nothing he did stood out as, like, being super weird or uncomfortable, whereas, like, there's a couple of things that Dax has done recently that I do find a little, maybe in bad taste, but clearly not done, like, intentionally. Like, I don't think Dax has, like, a malicious atom in his body, but, like, and for one, I fully expect the premise of the video that I'm going to talk about to be fake. Like, I think it was clearly a scripted video, or if not, like, the original premise might have been true, but, like, well, I don't know. I guess it doesn't have to be scripted for it to not matter, right? Point is, one of the videos that he made within the past year that stands out to me is, Dax, I'm just gonna, you know, outline it from the perspective that he outlines it in the video. Dax finds a piece of paper tucked away in, like, the middle of a hiking trail, and on the piece of paper is, like, sorry, I'm a little bit loose on the details, but it has to do with, like, some complete stranger's breakup, and it was a message. I swear this is scripted, because it's like something that nobody does in real life, right? Like, if they really cared about getting closure, they would have just, like, texted them or something. I mean, maybe if we want to believe this story, we can say that they blocked them on all platforms, so the only thing they could think of to get some line of communication between them was leaving a random note in the middle of a hiking trail they used to go on together. But, it seems far-fetched at the best of times. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with these creepers. Do I have a bow? Surely I have string somewhere. I could make a bow. Ooh, oh, yep, forgot about that bug. I don't have I don't even have enough string. Don't even have enough string to make a bow. I do have arrows, so that's nice. I guess I'm just gonna make a sword then? Sure. Let's make a sword. I swear I had more sticks. Perfect amount of sticks. I won't complain. But, oh, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about because this is my first time playing Minecraft and I don't know how to craft a fucking sword. Takes one stick, dummy. Takes one stick. This will be a daring journey as soon as morning comes. But, yeah, okay. So to get back on track, premise of the video is that some stranger had a breakup, and one half of the relationship wanted to leave, like, a final message or something. But Dax, seeing the message there, if we pretend this is real, he assumed that the message never made it to who it was intended for, so they would never get their closure, right? And then Dax, like, I don't know, there's, like, some message to be had in the video, but, twist ending, the way that Dax deems best to cap off this journey is to write his own letter pretending to be the other person in the relationship responding to the original message he found, which is like, I don't think I need to say that that's extremely weird and something you should not do. Like, you shouldn't meddle into other people's relationship affairs or anything. Like, it's not your business. You could definitely, more often than not, do more harm than good. But it's all fake anyways, so I don't think it really matters. But I don't know, that's some of the humor to it. Is like, I don't know, what I think he expected to be like a heartwarming and touching message, which, like, I don't know, if you think really hard about it and ignore the glaring issues with it, you probably can get some sort of vague inspirational message out of that or something. But, from the most cynical perspective, the video comes across as Dax never got closure in his own relationship, so he's utilizing a stranger's relationship to get his own closure, which is really weird. But also, like, it's just funny. Like, it's just really funny that he would do that and upload a video completely sincerely. So yeah, I don't know. There is an air of mystery. Like, did he know? Like, did he know that that was a really weird thing to do? Who knows? But I don't think he did. I think he probably was just trying to be genuine and sincere. And again, it is harmless because, you know, the whole situation was probably fabricated to begin with. But there's such instances. I mean, at this point, I'm just talking about Dax Flame's videos because they amuse me. But let's wait for Zombie to die, and then I'll feel safe to tackle the creepers. Although I'm probably gonna get exploded. I don't have any reservations about that. I know what my future holds for me. There's like 3 or 4 creepers I've seen out here. I'm not expecting to come out unscathed, which sucks because God, I fucking hate creeper holes. And well, actually, wait, strats did not work. Can confirm, strats did not work. I hate creeper holes, and this is not the most convenient version of the game to clean up with them, or the most useful version of the game to take out creepers. Like, it is it's a little scary not being able to sprint and knock them back with the knockback. Anyways, dude, I never cleared out this this foliage. That's gross. Or wait, oh, now I know why I never cleared it out. I'm on a version of the game that doesn't have leaves auto-degenerating, or whatever the fucking terminology you want to use for it is. They stay there forever unless you manually break them. Alright, well that wasn't too bad. We handled that pretty cleanly. So let's get as much cobblestone on the bar as possible. I'm just gonna hope, and this is like probably not a good idea because I doubt my hope is going to go the way I want it to, but I'm just gonna hope that the other creepers despawned. The despawn range is pretty short in Alpha Minecraft, so let's assume that they're just no longer with us, right? Alright, let's make a shitty cobblestone path here. You know what? I like to keep the building style, like, vaguely alpha. I'm just gonna break this with my fist. I don't have the patience to go and get a pickaxe right now. I like keeping the building style to be, like, in the vein of what is believably alpha, but at the same time, I kind of want things to look at least, like, a little bit nice. Oh, fuck. You know, I want to put a little bit of cobblestone up so at least I can pick up some of this dirt, because I do not have a lot of dirt on me, and I am going to need to get a lot of dirt if I plan on ever finishing any of the projects I have. Jesus Christ, the RuneScape music made me think there was a creeper. Hopefully I'm not the only one. I'm sure I am probably seeming more and more insane and unhinged by the second in this segment, but whatever. Alright. Let's work with this. Let's start it here and have a little bit of, you know, as much of a balcony as you can have in Alpha Minecraft. Like a, well, I guess balcony is not the right word, patio. Let's have a little bit of a patio. It's gonna look gross because, I mean, it's cobblestone, and it's old textured cobblestone as well. But this is what we have to work with, so I guess live with it. Oh, this is nasty. Okay, I just have to get used to it. This is what Alpha Minecraft looks like. This is what we all lived through. Well, probably not all of us. In fact, probably not even most of us at this point. I'd say the majority of people who play Minecraft are probably in the generation that never experienced Alpha. Also, I'm stupid. I'm taking at least one pickaxe with me. I know I'm gonna make mistakes here and there, so it's probably a good idea to have one on me. Let's take this back a notch, because I meant to have it 3 wide. Alright, back on topic. Dax Flame. Yeah, I don't know. There's another video. I'm just talking about Dax Flame videos. There's another video that stands out to be as one of my favorites he's done recently. I think I've even talked about this one before. Probably, because it's one of my favorite videos. Just in general, you know, outside of Dax Flame's videos. He makes good videos. He makes very funny videos. I don't know if he intends for them to be funny, but they are very funny at times. So, yeah, another one of my favorites is Dax was, like, trying to get started with, like, he wanted to do a... How am I gonna do this? This is gonna look so disgusting. He wanted to do... I'm gonna turn the audio down, sorry. I know, you can feel my ADHD emanating through my veins right now. He wanted to do... Dude, it's still fucking loud. Just shut the fuck up. If I'm gonna be digging a bunch of dirt, I don't want to have to think about the sound effect it's making. I'm probably gonna be here for a while, so let's address that now. Yeah, alright. Dax Flame. So, one of his, again, somewhat recent videos he did, he was trying to get, like, he wanted to do, like, can you spark, like, a relationship in, I think it was, like, an hour date, right? Like, that was the goal. He was doing, like, I think he saw it off of BuzzFeed or something. He saw it off of one of those, like, tabloid news website articles, and, the premise was, you know, can you ask, like, this set of questions, and does it, you know, spark a relationship? Is this set of questions better than any other set of questions when it comes to, I'm gonna try and avoid curves, because curves are very beta Minecraft thing. Honestly, curves are like new age Minecraft. Even in beta, I didn't see many builds that tried to get curvy. Maybe like a fucking parapet or whatever. Parapet's probably not the right word. Like a tower to a castle or something would have some curves. But even this corner here feels a little unnatural with what I recall from alpha and beta Minecraft building styles. Anyways. Yeah, so that's the premise of the video he was gonna do. He got the questions ready. He rented out a space to film the video. He got 2 participants that were interested in the idea, and he filmed it. And so, I mean, as is the case with like a lot of Dax Flame's videos, I think the most interesting part of the video comes like right at the end. Which is, how am I gonna do this, dude? I'm so bad with elevations, and, like, do I want to keep it with the natural terrain? Probably not, because I'm not really a huge fan of the way this little dip looks here. I'm probably just gonna fill this in. But, like, do I lower my trail down 1 block for this? I don't think so. That doesn't feel very alpha. As a renowned alpha enthusiast and scholar, I don't think that's a very alpha way of building. So I'm going to keep to my guns and make as much of a straight, no curvature, rigid 90-degree angle turns, no difference in elevation path. And that's what I'm going to live with. I think the elevation should work out somewhat favorably in the end here. I'll go, no, that's probably fine here. Alright, and now we just get to build. This is nice. This is, probably... I'll fix it later. I'll decide what I want to do with that. I'm probably going to fill this in a little bit. Anyways. Yeah, so at the very end of the video, like, the whole first interview hardly matters. I think what matters most is right at the end of the video. You've got this whole build-up, and, like, you're expecting this to be a thing that Dax is gonna, like, pursue in the future, and maybe he does a series of this. But no. Instead, he shows, like, small clips of him doing his own interview as him being one of the participants, and, you know, I don't know, some random girl that he found willing to participate somewhere. As the other person participating. And then, he like, the clips aren't in full. They're just, like, video only. He's talking over them. And then he just says, yeah, so I tried to film another one, and it didn't work. So, can it? The series doesn't work. The questions don't work. I'm done with this, basically. Which... especially including clips of himself doing it is just so fucking funny. Because, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make fun of it too much. Because I do think that he was genuinely, like, interested. Because another thing he's tried in the past is, like, his fucking journey to, like, Italy or France or somewhere. I don't remember where he traveled to, but he traveled to somewhere in search of love. Which is just an inherently funny thing to do. And, you know, now he was doing this fucking dating thing that didn't work. It's just funny, dude. It's just funny. Like, I hope I don't need to explain why Dax Flame's channel is funny. Like, it's very entertaining, regardless what you're getting out of it. I think that you can at least admit that it's original and something that nobody else is doing. Like, nobody else... If it was anybody else making that, and you can feel, like, a little bit of, like, genuine heartbreak at the end of that video, which, like, I probably shouldn't be laughing at, but I just can't help myself. If anybody else had tried to record that, they would have just canned it and not even uploaded it. But I think there was some level of commitment to it because he had to pay for, you know, he probably had to pay for participants, and he definitely had to pay for the space he rented out. So, whatever it is, I just love the hell out of that video for existing the way it does. Yeah, Dax Flame. Anyways, should I get to the actual topic that I wrote down, which is Dax's movie? I probably should pivot to that at this point. I don't know. I don't think I have too much to talk about other than just the premise being extremely weird. So for one, he's kind of like, I don't know, fantasizing the life of the YouTube, the original YouTube CEO, which is just funny to begin with. That, like, I don't know, out of anybody, especially in modern climate, to like kind of idolize the CEO is like this brave hero who went against all adversity to do what he truly believes in was extremely funny. But other than that, it's just a really surreal and weird watch for a number of reasons. For one, it's clearly his first movie. I'll just put it that way. Like, you can tell that he doesn't have, like, years of filmmaking experience behind his belt. But I think the thing that stands out most is that all of it is, like, entirely fake. Like, he did a biopic that has almost not a single bit of truth in it. Like, the only, like, plausible... How do I want to put this? The only, like, the climax of the movie, the suspense, comes from... Well, for one, like, what was probably a completely friendly interaction in real life. Like, he made this drama between, like, two of the first, like, YouTube workers that, like, created the site and got it to the point that people bought it or were interested in buying it, right? And so he made this whole, like, fake drama about, like, one of the original creators of YouTube betraying the bold and adventurous CEO who wants it to be a place of art and free creativity, which we all know YouTube is to this very day, of course. And also, like, a very extremely weird subplot with, like, a completely fake wife? Like, I tried as much as I could to find out where he was getting, like, this relationship from. But as far as I could tell, like, he just made up a wife for his version of the YouTube CEO. It's just a very strange thing to, like, make a fanfic of a CEO of YouTube. Like, none of it is real. None of the drama is real. The fucking horse racing, it's so... I don't know. And I think the funniest part of it to me is how, like, against drugs he is. Like, oh, no, the CEO of YouTube would never touch something as devilish as fucking ecstasy, I think is what they used in the movie. It's a fun watch. There are... I don't know. I mean, it's kind of boring at moments, but there are enough just outlandishly wild things that Dax decided to do with the movie that I think it's definitely worth a watch at the very least. I don't know. I don't think I have too much more to say. It's been so long since I watched it. I watched it like the day after it came out, so I'm a little fuzzy on the details. You can't do shit, bitch. Get out of here. I am kind of scared, though, because I think they can see me through walls if I'm up close to them like that, so I want to allow him to free roam so that he's not just waiting at my doorstep when I get out of here. Alright. What's next on the list? I'll try not to let things get to the point where I ever have to do a stream like this again. Because, I don't know, it's fucking weird to just, like, look at a fucking laundry list of banter topics and go down them one by one. But, I don't know, I wrote these things down, so there has to be something worth talking about in each of these. I'm sure that a number of them we'll see, like, this one I've already talked about. Like, I've already made that joke. Some of them are just jokes, because I think I'm so funny that I write down my own material for myself to use in the future. I've got a few good ones. I'll admit, I've got some good jokes that I would love to use whenever the time is right. Alright. Oh, dude! Oh, see, now this one's one I have to, like, save, but I can't go over it. This is another thing that's, like, super out of relevancy at this point, but I still think it would be funny to look through. Maybe. I don't know, I might just scrap the idea at this point, but when I did the old school RuneScape League, like, very early on, we pivoted clients to using Rune Light, because, like, it just makes the game so much more playable. But Rune Light has a feature where it takes a screenshot whenever you level up, and I don't know, I just thought that would be funny to look through. But I think part of I'm just gonna scrap the idea, because I think the main reason at the time it would have been funny was because I did have, like, a number of old school RuneScape stories to tell that the screenshots would unfold, but at this point I've fucking forgotten everything from when I played Leagues, so it would probably just me being, like, dumbfounded at what the screenshots mean, and not be super interesting. Shovel Knight 2 got announced. I don't know. Is there anything really interesting to talk about there? I don't think so. I don't know. So for one, it's not actually Shovel Knight 2, for those not aware. It's just, like, the first new real release that the Shovel Knight team, what's their name? Yacht Club Games, Board Yacht Club Games. Yeah, that's the first, like, non-Shovel Knight thing that they've released since Shovel Knight. As far as I know. I think that's right. I might have, like, forgotten some, like, tiny side project they did, but it's, like, their first big release that they're hyping up since Shovel Knight. The only thing I really have to say about this is, like, just a marginally cynical take of, did they need to do a Kickstarter? And even if the answer is yes, that they needed some security, which, like, fine. You know, I'm not going to say that they can't do a Kickstarter if they feel like they are not secure enough or have enough money to sustain them to whenever the release would happen. But I just, like, I don't know. It's so hard for me to believe that. Because, for one, Shovel Knight had a successful Kickstarter, and then beyond that was just a hugely successful game. So I would be surprised if they didn't have, like, you know, a fairly large money vault that they could Scrooge McDuck into. But also, they have been updating Shovel Knight to actually complete their Kickstarter stretch goals, which props to them on that. Obviously, the large majority of Kickstarters, A, don't even get released, but B, definitely don't, you know, clear out their stretch goals to any sort of agreeable position. So they have been working on Shovel Knight for free for a long-ass time. And I say for free in quotation marks because obviously, you know, a lot of people have still been buying it the whole time. It's not like they're really working for free. That's like saying Terraria was developed years after its initial release for free. I mean, yeah, I respect them for never increasing the price of Terraria, even after all the content they've added to it. But at the same time, at least personally with me in Terraria, I kind of think that the original price point it was released at was an awful, awful deal. And as they've updated the game, that price point began to make a little more sense. So I think that Terraria was a case of it eventually fitting into its price point, not it outgrowing its price point. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, I kind of hate the Terraria devs more and more by the day, but that's an aside that I don't need to get into right now. I'm talking about Shovel Knight, which is, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't... I don't think there's, like, a nice way of getting into this, right? Like, I am just being the asshole and saying, like, you shouldn't need more money out of this. House stream, it's okay. I don't know, this segment's kind of scuffed, but I'm gonna live with it. I'm okay with having a scuffed segment to end the stream. I thought the Hobbit segment was good. So, I mean, for me personally, I just want to be able to delete all of these notes I've had. And I shouldn't go this far. The better idea here probably would have been to just, like, delete the notes without needing to talk about them on stream. But, like, fuck it, dude. I'm dragging you into this. If I'm deleting these notes, I'm getting the things I wanted to talk about out there, no matter how uninteresting or outdated the content is. And it definitely is past its expiration date. But whatever. So yeah, I understand that I'm being the asshole telling, like, the independent developers of, like, a fairly small team that have worked on Shovel Knight for way longer than I definitely would have if I was on the Shovel Knight team. Like, look, you can tell that the developers are proud, or did I say are proud of Shovel Knight, but no matter how proud you are of what you've done in your own project, and their work has gotten better with all of the, you know, subsequent updates to Shovel Knight. Like, every new, you know, character, like, every new knight they've added for you to play as, they put more and more into it than the last. Like, Plague Knight, if you look back at Plague Knight, it, unfortunately, because, like, I think Plague Knight could have been a lot more interesting if they changed it up a bit more. Plague Knight is almost entirely just the Shovel Knight campaign, but with a different control scheme. Like, there are differences to the levels, but they're more or less the exact same levels. Whereas when you look at, what is his name? Death Knight, the one with the scythe? Spectre Knight, or whatever? And King Knight, it is like an entirely new campaign that completely changes both how the game is played and the level and content that you're playing through. Like, they didn't need to make an entire card game thing for King Knight, and some would say that they probably shouldn't have, but I don't know, I think the reason that King Knight got, like, a fucking card game to go along with its campaign is probably from burnout on the project. I think it's probably the exact same reason that Bounty Below got a Dungeons mode added to it. Like, there's no reason a fucking idle game should ever have as active as a Dungeons mode that Bounty Below has, but by the end of Bounty Below, I don't know, I got bored of the project, and instead of just committing to it and finishing it like I should have, I decided to distract myself with an entirely separate project, more or less, that I just kind of crammed in there, which was not a good idea. Anyways, where is Spawn? I know it was somewhere over here. Hopefully I didn't go in the complete wrong direction. Oh, there it is. Just a little hard to see from up the hill. All right, let's start working backwards from here. I am gonna put a staircase here, but I wanna avoid the staircase for as long as possible. So anyways, yeah, you can tell. I think that the King Knight card game is like the easiest way to tell that the Shovel Knight developers were done with Shovel Knight. Like, they clearly did not want to commit to another campaign, which is good because they didn't have to. But I'm sure that they probably would have given up on Shovel Knight far sooner if they didn't have to or feel like they needed to meet those stretch goals. Like, just to work that long on the same project is rough. So I don't know, maybe I just cut them the slack for that. Maybe I'm like, you guys put yourself through enough psychological warfare and torture that you deserve to have another Kickstarter. Whatever, I don't really care that much, honestly. But I might iron out this bend and just push it a little bit farther there, but we'll see. I don't know. To me, I think they definitely could financially, you know, take over whatever the rest of... I don't even remember the new game name, sorry. But I'm sure that they had enough financial stability to make it through that project's completion, but also, like, kinda who cares? And, I mean, I guess that's where I head it as a whole, is like, I don't really care that much. Like, I think the thing that bugs me the most is their reasoning for why they wanted another Kickstarter. That's the only thing that really irks me about the situation, is similar to YouTube's dishonesty of why they got rid of the dislike bar. I think that their reasoning for doing the Kickstarter was fairly dishonest. Because their reasoning was they wanted community involvement, which I don't even think, and probably for good reason, their new game does not have stretch goals on the Kickstarter. Probably due to, you know, the hell they went through getting Shovel Knight stretch goals finished. So that's understandable. But I just don't sit right with the idea of it being solely for community involvement when the only community involvement comes from their, like, $500... I mean, I don't want to slander them here. To not slander them, I'll look up what the actual numbers are. Shovel Knight Kickstarter, and I'll just find it from there, because I don't remember the name of the game. I'm sure that this will probably get me what I want anyways. IGN article will probably link me to where I want to go. Come on, IGN. Please. Where's the link? You can't just talk about the... Oh, there it is. They linked it at the top, and I'm stupid. No, they didn't link it at the top. They linked their IGN page for it. What the fuck is wrong with you, IGN? You can't write about the Kickstarter for a new game coming out and not link to said Kickstarter. What are you fucking doing? Okay, well, I found the name of the game anyways. Let's go from here. How much did it make? God damn, dude, it made $1,200,000. It was much more successful than I thought it was. Last I checked, at least. And I'm not even commenting on the game itself, right? Because the game looks good. It looks like something I'll have fun with. I think I'm definitely going to enjoy the game. I just think that, I don't know. It has an air of disingenuity that I don't like. As far as saying that, this is for community involvement. Community involvement comes from making a Discord for a game. Community involvement is receiving feedback from anybody, not just the people that are going to pay however much it is to impact the game. So let's see here. Let's see how much you have to pay to make an impact and to do what they said is the purpose of their Kickstarter. At $100, you get a physical copy of the game, which, by the way, the digital copy of the game is $20, so that's a lot already. Damn, dude. $200 is what it takes for you to get your name in the game. And that is as minimal as community involvement gets, right? Like, come on, man. I can't help but not be cynical about it. It's just kind of shitty the way they did it. I wish it wasn't. I think the game is going to be great, but I don't know. I find it hard to agree with this. $250 for a plush. And I look, I'm putting out outlandish numbers like $250 for a plush. It is a plush and all of the tiers that came before it, but still. I think it does put it in perspective to say $250 and you get a plush, right? That's not too insane to talk about. $500, you get the game design document book. So we're at $500 and we still haven't come across a real impact in the game yet, as far as their community involvement goes. $750 allows you to be an NPC director for a day. And let me scroll down to find out what NPC director exactly entails. I can't imagine it's too spectacular. Probably outlines, I don't know, writing a few lines of dialogue for a minor NPC. Where do they go into? I know they go into it. They have to. Yeah, here you go. Alright, this is probably a better place to look at it than the sidebar like I was doing. NPC director for a day. Work with Yacht Club Games to design a minor NPC. That's it. That's all they say. Design a brand new NPC. We'll work with you to flesh out your unique idea within a set of parameters, of course. Yeah, okay. And only 20 of those. 20. Only 20 of those available. So 20 people did spend $750 to get an NPC in the game. But like, look, Shovel Knight also had those things and it didn't feel too weird. But I just disagree that like a Kickstarter can be done in this way and make like a coherent feeling project at the end of it. Like, the only way I think you can do Kickstarter well is if you, like, stretch goals are the limit. Like, that's the most I can see being done in a way that I respect on a Kickstarter. When you start pandering and, like, throwing out these impactful decisions to, you know, whoever's willing to pay extreme price points, I start to lose a little respect in the integrity of the game a little. Like, I don't know. They're clearly good at making games. I just want to see the game that they want to make. I don't really want this community involvement from people willing to pay $750. At $1,000, assistant director for a day. So you design an element of the game like an NPC, trinket item, or fodder enemy. So just any random shitty enemy, basically, at $1,000. I think the reason it makes me the most sad is because, like, I come from the perspective that if anybody wants to make a game, it is now easier than ever to, like, actually envision your dream game. Obviously, start small and don't overscope things like I did, but I feel like a lot of people see this as, like, the only way they can, like, make an impact in the gaming world, and it's just sad to me. But that's $1,000, and how many of those were there? 7. There were 7 of those available. Director for a day. And this is the highest tier. Only 3 of these were allowed. $3,000 each. You get to design a major element of the game, like a mini-boss, quest, sidearm, or big enemy. I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like community involvement to me. Maybe I'm just looking at this from the absolute worst perspective, but it just seems like it seems unnecessary to me to ask for as much as they're asking for, knowing the success of Shovel Knight. And, you know, they're a publisher too now. They've published a number of games as well. I don't know. They're doing well enough for themselves. I don't think they needed to go to this extent just to release the game, right? The community involvement thing especially, just, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, so I guess that's all I really have to say on that matter. Kind of gross, kind of grimy, but whatever. At the end of the day, I'm gonna play the game, no doubt, and I'm probably gonna enjoy the game, so it is what it is. I just, slight disagreement with what the developers thought was, community involvement. Anyways, what else do we have on the list of Will's boring things to talk about that he really can't go too in-depth in? Dude, this is a minor one. I think I mentioned this one at the end of my interview with Moose. I went into it a little bit. And I honestly, at this point, I'm kind of over it. I don't have too much to say. I've thought about it, and it is like a community that I'm not a part of, but I'm still gonna say a little bit. So I'll talk about it. I alluded to it in the Moose interview, but there's something I saw at this point is like a month and a half ago, in a very small niche community that, you know, doesn't have a lot of traction, of what I perceive to be like very, I don't know, in bad faith behavior from like the only person I could really see as like a public speaking community figure for that community. And now, drum roll please! It is the Line Rider community. The Line Rider community, everybody. So like, yeah, like a month and a half to 2 months ago, I started watching like a handful of Line Rider videos, because I mean, obviously I've known about Line Rider forever. You know, that used to be like one of the prime ways to waste time in computer, what do they call it? Computer literacy class or whatever the fuck, computer lit, when I was still in like elementary school and middle school. So yeah, I've known about Line Rider since like its original conception, or close to that at the very least. But I like, you know, as most people did, didn't really, you know, I had my fun with it, used it as a toy, and I saw the occasional like cool, they just called it computer class for you. It's funny. I think they called it computer literacy for me. But we all know how literate of a state Texas is, so I don't think the name held that much honor in the system. Anyways, jokes aside, yeah, you know, I feel like for most people, they would just see the odd video that came out when close to, like, Jesus Christ, dude, close to Line Rider's original release, and then just kind of forgot it existed for years. And more recently, there have been like some more popular mainstream Line Rider videos, mostly from a guy named Doodle Chaos, has like a lot of really high view count videos, but also just even in like from some of the more like tightly knit community members. A lot of their videos have, like, tons of views as well. Bevabel? Sorry, I don't want to mess up their name. Because it's a strange name. I don't want to be mean because they picked the name themselves. Bevabel Harvey. So yeah. Nothing against that part of the person, by the way. I mean, I don't think it needs to be talked about, but, like, they're... they go by they, them, and I think self-express themselves as trans as well. So that has nothing to do with anything. I know they do get a lot of shit for that, as anybody who's openly trans on the internet is bound to get from the absolute worst people imaginable, but me not liking the person, because I do think there are a few valid reasons to say that I don't think that they're taking their position as, like, you know, they obviously, I don't think, see themselves as big of a role in the community as they actually are. Like me, someone who, you know, didn't know it was an actual, like, ongoing active community at all, I like, my first introduction to the community itself was from Bevable, so I do think that their words have more meaning than they think they do, and they should be a little more careful with how they talk about certain community members. Anyways, so to stop beating around the bush and get to the actual point here, that is who I'm going to be talking about, because I think that they don't take their position with as much care as I think they should. And I'm not gonna say that, like, again, because I don't think that they really see themselves as any sort of community leader. The line writer community is fairly niche to begin with, doesn't have too many people who create in it. You know, there's a lot of people who like the content and will watch videos from numerous creators, but as far as people who are active in creating content for line writer, it's pretty slim pickings. And, like, only recently are new people entering the scene. From what it seems like, prior to, like, very recently, in the past couple of years or so, it had really just been, like, a handful of, like, 50, less than 100 for sure, people actively creating line writer tracks and, you know, making videos of them, to, like, almost no mass appeal. Like, they were making these videos for themselves and for other people in the community, because a lot of them, and a lot of them still, go completely unnoticed. But especially for, like, years and years, they went largely unnoticed. That being said, there has been traction somewhat recently, like I mentioned, and I think that the way that Bevable uses their platform is not advisable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna seem like an asshole no matter what. I'm probably gonna seem like an asshole, but I don't know. My take is that I think that Bevable probably comes across as more of an asshole than I am. So if I'm an asshole, at least I'm not the biggest asshole in the room. The things I disagree with, and they're very defensive about this as well, and, you know, a number of their friends come to defend them on this regard, too, which is expected of friends, obviously. You know, they're probably going to support their friends over some random dipshit like me screaming into the void, right? But I think, from my perspective, and I don't know, maybe I don't have a lot of, like, you know, anecdotal, like, what's the right way of putting this? Maybe I don't have, like, the right perspective, I guess, to argue my opinion, but I probably don't need, like, any right perspective. I guess the perspective I come across is from making games, right? Because there used to be, like, a lot more discussion about, like, what is and isn't a game. Like, can you call Tetris art in that kind of discussion? I'm glad it's mostly died out, and maybe it's just because Line Rider is in, like, you know, its infancy as a, you know, a thing that exists. Its infancy as a community, its infancy as far as recognition for it goes. Maybe it's just, like, not matured enough to the point that we can agree that any creation is an expression and should be regarded as art, regardless of what you personally think about. You probably shouldn't use a platform, some level of platform of authority, to explicitly dismiss certain things as, like, not being art or not being creative, which is what I think Bevable does on, like, the Line Writer community channel they have. And it's a channel run by more people than just Bevable, but they are, like, the largest speaking audience amongst the contributors to that channel. So I don't think it is too wrong to say that it's mostly their channel. I think it started out as being just a second channel of theirs. But anyways, to make it more clear as to what I'm talking about, Bevabel has their own channel that they make Line Rider videos on, like their own Line Rider creations, and then they also have a Line Rider review channel, which, like I said, has numerous contributors, but I still believe Bevabel to be the largest portion of those contributors. And it's not just reviews, is the main thing. So it's they have a yearly top 10, which is where I got into looking at a lot of Line Rider creators, which again is why I say that Bevabel is probably the closest thing to like a strong community advocate as Line Rider has at this point. So with someone with so much speaking power and clearly a larger audience than most Line Rider creators have individually, I think that you should be more careful with the things you say on that platform. And the biggest offender, I think, like the thing that stands out most to me, is a review of a Line Rider course that they hardly even talk about during the course of that review. It's like a 2-hour-long video. They talk about the Line Rider track in question optimistically for like 30 minutes of it, but more than that, they go into a lot of tangents on the Line Rider community as a whole and their views on art. Which, again, I don't know. I think that you get into some real muddy water when you start critiquing art not on whether you like it or can see meaning in it, but critiquing art on whether it is or isn't art. Which, I don't know, you can skim the video for yourself and see whether or not that's what Bevabel is doing, but that is definitely the message that I felt from it, and a lot of other people felt from it as well. And I think I mentioned it during the interview with Moose, that, like, someone made a comment as such that was like, it's kind of a weird vibe that you're using this review of someone else's Line Rider creation to just kind of shit on an entire subset in genre of Line Rider creations that aren't even relevant to the video or to the topic of the video at all. So, yeah, I don't know. To make it more clear as to what they deem as art and what they deem as uncreative drivel is, basically, like, well, I don't know. I'm gonna try and be short with it because I don't want to get too into like the ins and outs of the Line Rider community. There's a subset of Line Rider creations called Quirk, and it's called that because it was, you know, like headed by a bunch of immature teens at the time, I'm sure, and they all think they're quirky and wanted to make a funny little name for themselves. Quirking, I mean, it's kind of like speedrun communities, right? Like, a lot of the Line Rider terminology has the same kind of vibe as speedrunner terminology, where it is, it's more silly than anything else. You got your fucking cramules and your manuals, of course. A lot of it is carried over from skateboarding, which is maybe not too surprising, because that skateboarding terminology dips into a lot of other avenues. Anyways, not important. I'm not going to get too into the nitty-gritty of Line Rider stuff. What I will say is that, let's make a nice gazebo here. A nice cobblestone gazebo that we can feel at peace with spawning at. I'm not sure how protected I actually care to make it. I mean, it is pretty rough when you spawn in the middle of night and are just in entire danger yet again to enter a death cycle of non-stop death over and over again. I'm gonna make a circle, dude. I said I wasn't with curves. I'm different now. The me that said curves don't belong in alpha or beta Minecraft is dead now. I'm curving it up, motherfucker. Alright, so yeah, to not get too off topic while I build a gazebo here. Yeah, so a large subset of the quirk community largely just cares about, like, creating... It's kind of like I want to be the guy fan games, in a way. Where... I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Because that might come across as unintentionally mean, where I don't really mean it that way. But I mean, look, I'm coming from this perspective that... I'm going to make this even goddamn bigger. I'm coming at this from the perspective that I do think that, you know, quirk tracks, no matter how incomprehensible or difficult to get into, I think that those are all... And this shouldn't need defending, but I think that those are all, you know, acceptable outlets and can become art. You know, I think that if you are creating anything, it is art. That's my standpoint. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just wild in that. Maybe I am on the outside looking in, and I have an unhinged definition of what I think art is. But when I see someone shitting on something like, you know, hard to interpret quirk tracks, it sounds exactly the way that people will say, you know, modern art is incomprehensible garbage and that it's not real art, right? Same sort of feeling. But, I don't know, somehow, despite, I think, defending modern art, Bevabel does not see the error in their ways when talking about quirk tracks. But yeah, I do see it a little bit in the way that I see... Maybe it's not just I Want to Be the Guy, but I used I Want to Be the Guy as an example because most I Want to Be the Guy don't... Like, most I Want to Be the Guy fan games, I should say, don't, like, mess with the physics at all, and don't introduce any new mechanics at all. It's fairly faithful to, like, the original I Want to Be the Guy. Maybe, you know, nowadays, people are bored of that, and, more modern creations, sure, they mix things up just to stay new and fresh, right? But, for a long time, I would argue that the majority were just people using that same engine and all of the, you know, ups and downs that came along with said engine. I did not make this correctly, did I? Oh, no, I did. It just looks bad with the dirt building up here. So let's fix that. Well, actually, I think I probably want to extend this out a bit so that this is the floor. Right? Because this is the floor that I spawned on, I think. Yeah, I dug it out. So let's cut it back a bit. Anyways. Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of Line Rider. These people that have mostly been using the same tool to create in for, you know, the years since its first release. But they're finding new and interesting ways to exploit the systems to introduce new effects. And that's exactly what quirk is. It is finding physics bugs within a Line Rider engine that allow for things that you wouldn't expect to happen. So I don't know. To me, it's just like another way of expressing yourself through the same tool, and why wouldn't you use every bit of the tool that's available to express yourself, right? But I don't know, Bevabel seems to see it as, at some point, it stops becoming expression and just becomes showing off. Because, I don't know, their interpretation of incredibly dense quirk charts, I don't really know the right way to call it, tracks, maybe? quirk tracks, whatever it is. Bevabel's interpretation of it is that it is largely a lot of children that are just showing off and gamifying it. Which, I mean, maybe you could argue that it's gamified, but, like, I don't know. If people are having fun with it, like a creative tool, why are you going to step in and judge it as if, one, that's not okay to do, and two, as if you are superior to them in some way? It just, everything they say about it strikes me as not in good faith. And especially being, like, a fairly prominent and regarded member of the community, it just, like, really breaks my heart that they're just using it as a platform to kind of shit on a large amount of creators that I don't think should be maligned in this way at all. Like, it's just, I don't know, that's all I see it, is purely malicious, and because they have some historical gripe with the way that Line Rider has been viewed historically. That's what it comes across as, and they say it themselves, that they are, you know, they went through a large period of their life creating in Line Rider, that they felt like their creations weren't getting the respect that they deserved, and that a lot of, like, quirk stuff was hitting popularity more easily than they think it should, or whatever. So I don't know. It just strikes me as a bunch of bitter speaking from someone who, you know, maybe has reason to be bitter about the position that the community placed them in the past, but are just using it as a way of saying, "Ha! I was right all along, motherfuckers! You're not making art, I'm making art!" And that just seems really, really like fucking baby rage. I don't know. It just seems like a childish fucking fit over, like, I don't know, over what is and isn't art. It's just stupid. The whole thing is stupid. It doesn't deserve as much attention as I'm giving it, really. But it bugged me, so I'm gonna let it potentially bug you if you're the kind of person to get bugged by inconsequential drama on the internet. And that's all I have to say about it, really. I don't know, I think I'm done with that discussion. It just seems like overtly mean-spirited in a way that I don't think that any person who is regarded as some level of community leader should be treating their own community. But it seems like they really just don't care, and I don't know. I think that the main thing is that they are so distanced from their own perception of how people perceive them that they think it's okay to say these things because, oh, I'm not a real community leader in any sense. I mean, regardless of whether you're, like, an officially regarded community leader doesn't matter, I don't think. You're probably the loudest voice heard in the community. I think you should treat that with the care it deserves. Anyways, this is so inconsistent and gross. I'll fix it when it's daytime. I don't have the time to fix it right now. Yeah, I don't know. That's it for me, I think. I don't know, I've got a few more topics I can get into. I'm not sure how much longer I want to get through this stuff. I might just end stream soon, because I did intend for this to be a pretty short stream. And it is at the point that I'm going longer than I expected to. I was trying to shoot for a couple of hours, but we'll see how many more items I have on my list, and I might just, like, wrap it up. Because I don't think a lot of them are super long things to talk about. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what we got. Hopefully I don't come across as me being too mean-spirited when I'm talking about Bevabel there. I don't know. I think that they should be more careful with how they talk about what is and isn't art. And they'll definitely hear this and say, well, I'm not saying what is and isn't art. I'm saying what I personally enjoy is art. But look, dude, like I said, being as prominent of a voice in the community as you are, it reads a little bit differently than you might intend it to. All right, next on the list. This is, like, super irrelevant at this point. This is, like, something I would have talked about as, like, a 5-minute anecdote. But I'll pretend like this is relevant, even though it happened to me, like, 2 months ago. I was getting lunch. Dude, this is so irrelevant. I'm skipping it. I'll just say it was funny at the time, and maybe I could have made it funny if it was still, like, fresh in my mind. But now I'm thinking about it, it's like, why would I even... This is the dumbest thing to talk about. But maybe that's why it's funny, because, like, it's a curb bit. It's like a Seinfeldian comedy and nothing. I was getting lunch with my dad, and I think I met the real... Oh, fuck, now I'm forgetting his name. Who's the fucking curb guy? You should think I should know this, right? Larry David, there you go. I think I found real-life Larry David. He looked like Larry David, too! He had the fucking horseshoe. He had glasses. He was old. I swear to God, I feel like I stepped into, like, an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they just forgot to mention that they would be filming at this time. Or maybe they wanted it to be more authentic. He wasn't literally Larry David. But he looked the part and certainly acted the part. At least Larry David's character in the show, right? Let me eat some food. I have some food, right? No? Should have killed those cows, maybe? Whatever. This is such a fucking stupid story, whatever. He walked into the restaurant we were eating at, picked a dirty table. I think he wanted to sit at it because it was, like, next to the window, and I think I heard him say car or something, so I don't know, I think he was, like, ultra paranoid or something and didn't want something breaking into his car, and, like, this, like, I don't know, it's, like, as nice of a neighborhood as Houston has. Like, the prime demographic of people living in the area we ate at is, like, elderly people over the age of 80. But he was afraid of his car getting broken into, I guess. So he wanted to sit by the window so he could see his car through it, right? He must have obviously picked a delicate parking space that fits the bill as well. And yeah, the table he picked was dirty, so he had to wait for it to be bussed off. And he grabbed the attention, which, first off, this is just, I don't know, it's like, I feel like there's definitely a generational gap of how service workers are treated. Like, the older you get, the worse people from that generation seem to treat service workers. It's kind of gross. But aside the point, he, like, called over to the lady that was bussing the dishes and like, gestured towards the table very rudely. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'll bust the table for you. Busted off, but there was still, like, plates and silverware from the people who were there before. So she picked up the plates and, you know, put them on her tray that she was carrying away. And just for, you know, a few seconds, she was, like, bussing other tables around, getting the silverware and plates off. And he just, like, looked around in disbelief, like, is anyone else seeing this? Like, am I the only one? He was doing the look. He was doing the look in the hands. And he was like, am I the only one? And yes, he was the only one who thought that the service worker was outlandish for equally bussing the tables and handling the silverware and dinnerware first, so that she could then grab her cloth to spoonerism, to wipe off the tables. Dude, I'm out of it. I've been talking too feverishly for too long. I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm starting to slur my speech a little. I do get lightheaded too. I should like try and slow down a little bit, because when I get heated in the discussion like this and I am like on a topic that I can really go off on, which I did for Mina the Hollower, and the line writer shit, and now this, well, kind of. I mean, that just took it out of me, those two alone. When I go so heated into a discussion like that, I allow myself very little breaks to breathe, and the lightheadedness certainly gets to me a little bit. Anyways, my inability to speak aside, yeah, I thought it was reasonable that she cleared off the tables before, going to wipe them off, but the look of disbelief in his face, it felt like a genuine fucking curb bit. Like, I don't know, something outlandish to be expected from people, and feeling like you were slighted, even though, like, it's just a lady doing her job. A job she probably hates just as much as I would hate it. But the absolute indignance in this guy, and feeling like he deserved better treatment for shopping at the fucking La Madeleine that we were eating in. It's like a chain fucking faux fancy. For those who don't know La Madeleine, because I don't know how popular that is, but it's the French equivalent to a oh, now I'm blanking on the name. What's the Olive Garden? It's the French equivalent to an Olive Garden. They serve vaguely French food, but it's mostly fairly Americanized and not traditional in any sense, and it's cheap and not super high quality. I mean, it's a chain restaurant. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Hopefully there was anything funny out of that. Guy seems like kind of a dickhead, but whatever. Dude, I'm done. I've got way too many of these. I looked at my list. I've still got, like, I don't know, at least 20 or 30 more. And, I think I'm spent. I'm spent as far as discussion goes for the day. Maybe I'll try and work them in more seamlessly. I don't know. Do I really want to go out and fix my gazebo? I'll do it on a different day. I'll try and work in the bits a little more seamlessly like I normally do. It's just there's so many that are so outdated. I just don't know if I can, like, bring up, like, ooh, there's a new Monkey Island game getting... Well, that one's kind of recent, but that's why it came to my mind. I don't know how, like, we watched Pop Team Epic, like, again, 2 months ago or something. I don't know how relevant I can make that, but I guess I'll try in the future. Anyways, that's it for now. It was an okay stream. I don't think it went as good as the itch.io. This is my official stream review. I thought it was fine. I'll definitely consider going through this list a little differently in the future, because I don't know. I don't like how forced it felt that I was trying to just, like, get through the itemized list of things I have to talk to you. I like it better when I can seamlessly transition from one another. We're not ending on Flute Salad. Well, for one, because another song just played, and also Twilight Town. Dude, it's so nice. Like, I felt so much better about streaming just for having the be back soon and the stream starting screen. Like, it just feels nicer for me. There's some level of production value or something. Whatever it is, I like it. I like the vibes. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm done. Thanks for hanging out. I didn't do anything productive in The Hobbit, and I barely did anything productive in Minecraft. But I had a good time, so hopefully it was fun in some regard. I gotta keep telling myself not every stream has to be a 10 out of 10 itch.io stream. It's hard, though. I don't know. I think that's going to be the hardest thing for me to get used to. Going back to streaming more regularly is reminding myself that, I don't know, when you don't give yourself, like, the extreme breaks like I was giving myself, you just have less to talk about. And when you're trying to do a stream in the style that I'm trying to do it, that kind of plays a pretty big role in it. If you try and avoid talking about the game as much as I try to avoid it. But yeah, we got 3 hours, and 3 hours is like standard stream length, so I got to the end of it one way or another. I'll think about what I'm gonna do with. I'm probably just gonna delete like half of the things that aren't relevant anymore on my little streamer journal, and yeah, for the rest, I'll work them in a little more seamlessly. But that's it. That's it. I think I'm out of things to talk about. Or at least I want to be out of things to talk about. I probably could go for a little bit longer, but I'm fucking lightheaded, dude. I get too heated sometimes. Oops, I accidentally opened Unity. Goodbye. I don't want you. What the fuck? Wait a second, what did that just say to me? What did you just say to me, you little bitch? There was a problem validating the license because of the operating system. Oh, shit. Alright, well that's something I'll have to deal with now. Yeah, good stream though. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. And I'm gonna be doing Super Mario World hacks with a dick. So, be there or be square. Bye.